decided to stop by and check out the Wooting 1. You guys remember this from last year? It's the Analogue Keyboard, where you basically there's some infrared stuff down there and it's always measuring the distance. So it knows how hard or how far you're pressing this, but this is basically emulating like, the analog on an Xbox. So you can just hold W down all the way instead of having to hold Shift, and that's how you run. And also guys, last year there wasn't as much going on with the software. Now they've got their new Wootility.
Yeah, that's it.
Your Wootility. I'm not putting.
Yeah.
This video's over.
But it's so you can map all the controls here on every key of the keyboard, and you can also. This is what I want to change.
Yeah, mapping everything right there.
Yeah, and here I want to change analog curve because.
So you can mess with where your dead zone is and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. You can just.
So you close it and it actually writes to the firmware.
Yes, exactly.
All right, that's
so
what I want to hear.
It stays on the keyboard. Yeah.
So software writing to the firmware, allowing you to control your analog curve. That's pretty good. All right, so 3 profiles, back to keyboard mode, and then back to analog mode.
You can quick swap between the two.
So the mode button just does that then?
Yes.
So you've gotten rid of the scroll lock button, right?
Yeah, we did. And now you have pause there.
Okay, there's now 1 million people angry about not having a scroll lock. Actually, there's probably nobody. So right here, guys, you're able to change your actuation point, so you can control where it actuates. Adomax is flare tech, and we saw that being used over there in the Wooting. Let me show you guys how this works first. Now, we saw this last year, but it was still kind of under wraps as to how this works. You can have analog switches here, that's right, and the way it works really is they have LED comes up, hits a lens, and is reflected through. Then your switch comes down and actuates, and it pushes that light back down to another sensor. And the farther you press it, I guess the more intense the light is, and this sensor can measure that, so it knows exactly where the key switch is at all times. I'm using it in the Wooting 1 keyboard. Now they've just introduced it here into this FlareTech keyboard as well. This one's not going to have the software, but they are going to have just like 12 analog switches. Now you can swap these all out. You can make you can pull out the entire switch, pull out the keycap and the switch. If you wanted to make it reds or blues or whatever, you could have like WASD reds, which actually feels better to me as far as the analog motion goes. But man, playing games and stuff like that is, it's like a very holy shit moment when you're playing games. Got it up here. Now they've also put their FlareTech switches into these like chiclet type keys. So these are 3mm as opposed to 4mm, and they feel pretty good. But the main thing is that you can have the FlareTech. This is a proof of concept, sort of a keyboard case right here, but you can have the FlareTech switch inside of a laptop, possibly in the future. If you want to have analog on a laptop, there you go. All right, guys, let's take a look at Riotoro's new prototypes, and we're going to talk about just how some of these things come to be, because this new prototype just came in. This is the CR1288 or 1288 Prism. It's a nice full tower case. Got this huge LED area right here in the front. This is full RGB, and you can go over and change all the lights and all that sort of thing. And the first time they saw it was here at the event, because they go and they find a case, they make modifications, they tweak certain things. Like this one, they said they had to move the cutout behind the CPU to a different spot. They had to make a few adjustments, and then they get it in and they iterate and they think about what to do. So this is kind of how things work right now, and some of your feedback will be nice. They get it in, they look at it, and they say, well, you know what, design that looked pretty awesome, but what does everybody think? And then they start playing with it, like here in the hotel. They put a piece of tape down the side. All right, so then they do this. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments. So, now, does that look cleaner? What do you think? I'm not going to voice my opinion right now, because I want your raw opinions without being tainted with my overbearing opinion. So there's that. And then up here on the top, you guys can see lots of different options for, is that fan controls in there? And we've got your USB and all that, and then RGB. Let them know what you think in the comments, and maybe you can have your hand in creating your next case. Who knows? I also like the fact that down here on the bottom, all this is completely isolated. So that's already moving in the right direction, in my opinion. All right, let's move on over here. CR500, sort of a mid-tower case here, or they call it an ultra-compact tower case. One of the things I like with this one is it's pretty empty on the inside, giving you a lot of room for activities. Also, this is tempered glass, so that looks nice, and we have everything hidden away down there on the bottom. Now, this one has a more minimal style, and you can see there at the front, got a couple fans behind there. They're going for a target price of $69, so this would be an amazing budget case. I love the fact that they even have the shielded area on the bottom there, and something this price point. And then over here, you got the CR1088. They had a version of this last year, but they added on the big LED area in the front, changed a few different things. So again, feedback on this. Now, this one is dual chamber. They had similar to the one they had last year. And that's really going to help to isolate airflow and keep, you know, one set of components on one side, one set of components on the other to reduce heat transfer and all that sort of thing. Also keeps it, I guess, smaller as far as it's not too tall, but it is wide. But that's good for certain people. Now here's the Ghostwriter Prism Elite. And as you can see here, it's RGB, and everything is done pretty much right here on the keyboard. Now, I've seen a lot of these out there on the market, and they've got sort of, everything just feels circuitous. You have to push Control-Alt-Shift-Elbow here, and then it'll change the colors. So they went in and tried to redesign some of this stuff. So you have function and insert and delete are going to change your different modes. And then this is going to change brightness, and this will change the speed of the effects. So more simplified, but Rick, you got anything else that's fancy in there?
So this is the effect mode with the
yeah, that's the effect mode.
Function insert key.
So delete changes the color, insert changes the mode. That's what it was. So I mean, I already know how to use this, and with a lot of these out there on the market, it's like, no, I need to go to school and then I can use it. Little roller up here and Cherry MX all the way around. Yeah, really clean aesthetic on this one. Metal on top there. See the screws right there. They've got it pinned down. And then I love all these media keys over here. And again, this one is Cherry MX. This one features the blue, but you can get it in different switch types. There's that. And then moving on over here to this one.
Put its clothes on.
So this is just another shot of the one we just saw. And last but not least, let's take a look at their 3330 based mouse. Comes in black and white. Full RGB, of course. Lots of button options here. I like the fact that there's a button right down here in between where your thumb is going to rest. As far as the aesthetics go, that's completely up to you. You know, whether you like something with a more aggressive aesthetic or something with a more minimalistic aesthetic. I will say that the scroll wheel, they did a really good job on that. So it feels really solid, moves well. There's your DPI buttons. As far as my hands go, this is there. I can definitely tell it's there. I'll have to play with it for a long time to know if it's actually going to, it's not really, no, it's actually right there where my fingers are off, so that's not too big of a deal. And then on the bottom, they even have, you know, cool design here on the bottom. I guess that's the sniper button down there, but that's an interesting place for what they call the sniper button, but I'm sure you can remap all this stuff. Because it's right there where your thumb rests, it's not in the way, and I can't see myself accidentally hitting this button. It's very deliberate, so nice placement on that button there. So that's the Aurochs Prism. All right, so guys, let me know what you think of what Riotoro is doing here. They're in a phase where they're just getting out there. So they're iterating, they're trying new things, they're exploring, and they are looking for your feedback. And it's also nice right now because you can kind of see the way a company you know, grows and expands, gets into new markets and that sort of thing. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here and just show you all this stuff, because you guys can have some input at this point, and that's really cool. So let me know what you think. We'll see you guys in the comments.